him on a gaming whim, but this ain't a game to him. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. So join Jovan and get your critical cap on. 'Cause there's a Bradley's baddie inside of me and you.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? What brings you guys over here? What brings you to the stream today? How are you doing? Me, I'm chilling. Straight like a villain. Papa Doc villain. Sasha Riley interviews brought me over. I don't know what that is. What is that? Yo, it's been a couple of days, but I'm here. Tired as shit, but I gotta get through this. Then we got Jimmy's stream. So it's gonna be a long night of debating fuck ass MAGA, fuck ass stupid ass bitch ass punk ass MAGA. But you know, we are here to do it. Listen, guys, the lines are about to open. You know me, opening them call-in lines. Let's say we got space for 7 calls at a time today.
You are connected as the host. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
Anyway, 219-327-8005. Listen, we come here every day that I'm not dead. We come to debate. We come to argue. We come to yell. Okay? That's what we do up in this piece. Listen, if you are MAGA and you want to debate how your boy is getting ready to start World War III and go to war with China, call in 219-327-8005. Listen, we got a couple topics on the board. 1, Trump. One, Trump is a terrible president. 2, you have no compelling evidence for Christianity. 3, trans men and women are men and women. 4, gender affirming care for youth. And 5, if you're MAGA, you're uneducated and or you're a bad person. One of those is correct, and we prove it every time. I didn't keep a running tally, but I probably should have. Remember, we will have another mutual aid Friday this week, so make sure you get those mutual aid requests into the mutual aid form. One person is chosen every Friday, and we try to get mutual aid out to those people. I will be in Austin in a few days, literally like 2 days. Holy shit! And I'll be there for like a week. So if anybody, I don't think there's a lot of Austin peeps, so I probably won't do like a meetup or anything, but we will be in Austin chilling. I will still get to stream. Jimmy's hooking me up with a stream at his place I'm staying at. He's hooking me up with a setup, so I'll still be able to stream. It won't be this, but it will be me streaming, debating. It may just be YouTube vertical while I'm on vacation. Who knows? We gonna find out. 219-327-8005. Did anybody watch that Nick Shirley interview? Because I swear to God, that might be the stupidest kid. Holy shit, Nick Shirley might be an idiot. Whoa, dude, it was so funny. I didn't watch all of it, but like the clips that I saw were fucking hilarious. Like it's honestly that Nick Shirley kid hasn't put a second worth of critical thought into his head. It's a little embarrassing. If you want to support the stream, guys, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can send a super chat over on YouTube. All super chats will get read at the end of the show. So if you have a question, you want to make sure that question gets answered, or you have a comment you want to make, super chatting is the best way to do that. Or you can send a tip. Cash App and Venmo are on the screen. So if you wanna send a tip, you can do that as well. My Cash App and Venmo are there. All tips do go back into the call-in line because, you know, we gotta keep those call-in lines running. I'm a little tired today, but MAGA is still stupid. That's my vein. My vein I'm gonna tap today is just how, you know, it's so funny watching. Here, let's turn this down a little bit. Let's get serious for a second. You know what? Let's get serious for a second. Let's talk for a second, chat. Let's talk for a second. How is it? Okay. How is it that the Don't Tread on Me crowd is the bootlicking crowd? This group of people got so mad, so unbelievably angry when Biden asked them to get vaccinated, right? They got so mad. But now here comes ICE stopping citizens on the street, demanding IDs. And now this crowd is just like, yes, we love that. Them boots taste so good. What is with the bootlicking? I was under the impression the Second Amendment is to protect you from a radical, tyrannical government, but apparently no. They want that radical, tyrannical government to just like oppress the shit out of them. It's really embarrassing. And it goes to show, there's a reason why I stay staunchly on the left, not liberal, okay? But staunchly on the left, because the performative nature of conservatives throughout all human history has to be, in my opinion, one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. Do they have any actual beliefs? Like, what do conservatives believe other than like the country should be white and Christian? Like, what do they actually want? I feel like I ask this all the time. Conservatives, what do you want? We want small government. No, you don't. You want Daddy Trump to be your king. That's not a small government. We want to invade Greenland. Fucking why? Well, I know why. It's because you want the mineral deposits Greenland has. But like, no new wars was a whole thing. He's a peaceful president. It's a whole thing. Guess not. It's actually embarrassing. And it really just boils down to, we just want everybody to be straight and white. That's it. That's all they want. And honestly, by the way, I need 2 more YouTube subs to hit 68,000. Honestly, it's boring, dude. It's boring. Conservatives, you bore me. You're boring. You are boring. There's no thought behind those eyes. And right now, Donald Trump is scared fucking shitless, dude. They're terrified they're going to lose midterms. Terrified. They are on their knees shaking because they think they're going to lose midterms. And right now, if it goes the way it's going, they will. And it's kind of boring. I mean, listen, I'm all for personal freedoms, right? But not at the cost of others, right? Whereas conservatives, like, we want to be able to be completely free to do whatever we want, unless it's trans stuff. No, you can't be free to do that. No, we need to stop that. But everything else, not being gay either. We don't want We don't want you to be able to be free to be gay, because then we might have to make cakes for you, and we don't want those. We don't want those cakes made. So not that either. No trans, no gay. But also, like, if you could be white, if you could be a color, right? We would prefer if you were like a white, because then we would know. At least if you were white, then we would know that you are from a place on the earth that, even though it's committed like the most atrocities, right? And even though it's done like irreparable harm, and even though you're from a place on earth where we literally developed one of the worst illnesses in human history because we were shitting in the streets, we still think we're superior. So if you could, cis, well, we don't like that sissy word. So if you could be a normal, white, straight, and honestly, if you be a man too, if you could just like dude it up, right? Not that you can become a man, because we don't think you could become a man. You've got to be born a man, and then you will, like, it's no, literally, conservatives literally want everyone to look like default Skyrim characters, bro. They want you to be a default Nord. Like, it's so fucking boring. But yeah, no, it's all for Jesus. Conservatives wouldn't know Jesus if he bit him in the ass. Conservatives would look at Jesus today and call him a radical left commie scum. How many times did Jesus say, give away all your money? Give it to the poor. Be like me and hang with prostitutes. They would see Jesus Christ and lose their fucking minds, bro. They would lose their minds if Jesus existed. Let's pull up some fucking choice Jesus quotes. We'll pull up some choice Jesus quotes that, like, give a little commie, right? Like, they give a little commie. At the very most, they give socialist, right? At the very most, they give socialist. Hey, Jesus. Yes, my child. What would you say rich people should do if they have, like, a bunch of money? Well, they should sell their possessions and give them to the poor. Jesus, but you can't help every single person, right? Like, Jesus, give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Jesus literally wants you to steal from rich people. He's down with stealing from rich people, y'all. Just give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Jesus was with the shit. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth. Don't have savings accounts. Jesus was anti-savings accounts, actually. You cannot serve both God and money. Speaking of, William, thank you for the $3 on Venmo. What's left after a community member helped me get a tire? Huh? Oh. Was that you, Zareth? I think I saw you talking about that in the Discord. What like you guys remember Matthew 25, sheep and the goats. Jesus does not want you, okay? Jesus would lose his mind if you told him you were voting for a party that was getting rid of food for children. Jesus would lose his shit. would lose his shit. Jesus would be like, what the fuck are you doing? And then they would be like, what do you mean, Jesus? And then Jesus would say, did I not say, for I was hungry and you gave me something to eat? For I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink? For I needed clothes and you clothed me? Did Jesus not say these things? They don't care, guys. Christians, and especially Christian conservatives, I have to tell you, they're Christian in name only. They don't actually want to follow the religious teachings of Christ our Lord. Like, I don't follow the religious teachings of Christ our Lord because I'm just a communist, so I do that shit anyway. But, like, they won't follow the religious teachings of Christ our Lord. But God forbid King James changes fucking pedophile to man, and all of a sudden gay people, nah, B, it's not our deal. Christian conservatives say, hey, you know the part in the Bible where they said slavery is okay? I'm down with that. But the gays? Not on my watch. Not on my Christian Minecraft server. It's embarrassing. And no Christian is going to call in to defend it, probably. 219-327-8005. You can call in to defend if you're a conservative Christian. I promise you, I'll call in to defend you. But it's embarrassing. It's fully embarrassing. We've seen it here. Christians bend over backwards to defend God telling Moses to take sex slaves. They bend over backwards to defend all the fucked up shit God does. But God forbid, I say pigs should be bacon and I'm the bad guy. But you'll find they have Bible verses in their Instagram bios, and they never know what their own fucking book means. I mean, you guys have seen it before, where like we talk about whether or not Jesus was the Messiah, and they have no fucking idea what the messianic prophecies are. I mean, we had somebody the other day, last time I was live, who was like, well, I don't know why you would think that's a messianic prophecy. What? Because it's describing the king of Jerusalem, who Jesus is supposed to be? That's the Messiah? It's embarrassing. But yeah, no, let's you know what it is? They wanna pretend that they're good people. This is what I found with most Christians. They just want that veil of being a good person. And that's it. Right? It's just that thin veil of being a good person. And as long as they have that slight little protection, then they can die at peace. And listen, if hell exists, I fuck with the idea that your hell is made from your own guilt. So I ain't going to hell. I don't feel guilty for shit. They might. But again, we see it all the time. Darius, thank you for the Venmo, said Trump administrator in the UK with sanctions if they refuse to use Grok, the known CSAM generator. Conservatives voted for this. Jesus would explode. Yeah, the fact that Grok can still exist after making literal child porn is fucking crazy. For those of you who don't know, Grok for the last, what has it been, the last week or 2 weeks? Grok has been making all child porn. It's not consensual, but Grok has been making child porn. People have been uploading pictures of children and telling Grok to put them in either scantily clad to no outfits or in lewd positions. Grok has literally been making child porn. And these motherfuckers still using Twitter. I ain't used Twitter in months. You know what? I agree. It isn't Grok. It's the men that are using Grok to make the CP. But you would think, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. You would think that the people that coded Grok would code it so it didn't make child porn. But that would ruin Elon's relationship with his best friend, right? His best friend, who he told us all was in the Epstein files and was on Epstein's plane, who then spent 400 overtime hours through the FBI to have the Epstein files censored and redacted. But yeah, no, he's totally not. Trump totally isn't in the files. No, he's definitely not protecting somebody. No. Why would you need to redact? Why would you need so much manpower that you need to redact so much of it? No. Come on, guys. Come on. No. It's fucking insane. It's insane. It's actually insane. But yeah, no, Trump can do all this shit with kids and they're just okay with it. I mean, what? He told a 10-year-old he'd date her in 10 years. Let's not even just look at kids. Let's look at all the fucked up shit Trump has done to women and children in totality. Told a 10-year-old he'd date her in 10 years. I'm 32 years old. I'm going to be 33 years old in 2 months. I've never told a child I would date them. Never. Have you? I sure haven't. He walked into women's changing rooms. They're also cool with that. They're also cool with Trump going into women's changing rooms. They're totally down with that. So remember, conservatives are totally cool with that. That's totally a good thing for them. It's a totally W thing. Darius, thank you for another Venmo. So speaking of Epstein planes, there's a series of interviews from the son of Epstein's pilot. The son is also a victim. His name is Sasha Riley, and he confirmed Trump took part. Oh shit! Should we watch that? That could be an on-stream little treat. Not a treat, you know what I mean. But they love that Trump said he grabs women by the vagina. They love that. They love when he said he'd date his daughter if she wasn't his daughter. They love when he cheated on his wife with a porn star. They love when he paid off said porn star as a cover-up to win the election. They love that he's a family man, you know? Trump the family man. They love that he fucking gave head to Bill Clinton. Crazy. Turn music back on. I don't know why you guys are mad. If someone comes into the YouTube chat and they send 3 messages talking about how they don't want to debate me, just call them a scared little baby and move on, dude. Anyone who sends 3, 1 message would have gotten his point across, but he had to send 3 because, you know, they have to be acknowledged. I'm so sorry for not acknowledging you. Like, bro, just leave it be. Who cares? Let them sit in their stew. Either they'll call in or they'll leave the chat. Both options work for us. It does not matter. They do not matter, y'all. They're pussies. Okay, I know a lot of you don't like when I use the word pussy. Can I say pussy? Or is that just like when Jimmy says redacted? Can I say pussy? Is that okay? Or is that ableist? Because that then is me making fun of speech impediments. But I'm not actually making fun of speech impediments because the joke is not the speech impediment. The joke is their pussies. How about just coward? Doesn't hit. It doesn't work. You guys have to understand, some words need juice. Coward doesn't have the juice. You need to give a word that's got the juice. Cuck is pretty good, but it doesn't get across what I'm trying to get across in that moment. I've also had some people be like, Jovan, are you going to call Jimmy out on the redacted thing? I'm not going to call out somebody who's autistic on using a word meant for people with, like, just like I would be pissed if Jimmy tried to call me out for saying the N-word. You don't get to tell me. Now, I'm also autistic. I don't use the R slur just because I feel like I've slipped though. I don't know if anybody in chat currently was here. I once slipped on stream and called someone the R slur because I was just so heated. It's so funny. The thing that gets me mad the most is not people who are stupid. It's people who are so stupid they don't know they're stupid. If someone doesn't know something and just keeps telling me, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. But if somebody is so arrogant that they're saying stupid things and not realizing how stupid it is, and they're thinking they're winning, it drives me up a fucking wall, dude. I'm like, how do you just not see the inconsistencies of what you're saying? Like, please. I think Pussy got the juice. Wait, that's so funny to say. We need that on a t-shirt. Pussy got juice. Do your pussy got juice? Oh my God. 219-327-8005. We'll see if we can get a debate before we go live with Jimmy later. But it's fine if we don't, man. It's fine if I've beaten all the conservatives because they're too scared to defend their beliefs. Hey, if you're conservative in the chat, tell me this. Tell me this to all conservatives in the chat. I'm going to start a poll. Wait, we already have a poll. Oh, sick. I'm going to start a new poll. Are you down with Trump's concentration camps? Yes or no, conservatives? Are you down with the concentration camps? Need a bucket and a mop? Can we get a debate before we get canceled? No. Yeah, I'm telling you, guys. Okay, so let me just give you the psychology here behind these conservatives in the YouTube chat. If you give them the responses, that gives them what they're looking for. They are too scared to call in and have a real conversation. So they hope that you will debate them in the chat. Just don't do it. I promise you. Someone said, you're a racist. Oh my God. How could you tell? Definitely. God, hate them whites. Clip that. Somebody clip it. Clip it, post it all over the internet. Can't stand white people. Clip it. Clip that one too. Clip that one too, guys. Post it. Go ahead, post it. Clip it. Clip it, post it. I'm white people and they can't stand us. I'm half white. I can say that. I can say whatever I want about white people. I'm half white. I think both my mom and dad are half. Both my mom and dad are mixed. I actually don't know if I don't think my dad has a white parent, but he is still mixed. But like, I have a white grandparent. I can say whatever I want. It's always okay to be racist against white people. Joke's on you. You can't be racist to white people. You can't be racist to the group that holds systemic power. It's not possible. You can bully them. You can be racially discriminatory, but you're not being racist. Yeah, no, I'm half white, so I can say most slurs that have to do with race. I got like at least half of them in the chamber. Now someone in chat is saying I manipulate facts on an emotional level. Seems like you're just scared to debate, which is fine. Just admit it. Like, don't be a pussy. Just admit you can't handle the heat. So you're staying out of the kitchen while daddy cooks. As a white man, can I be racist to white people? No. They're like, I happily call into debate. No, you won't. No, you don't. You have nothing. You have no logical argument for any of these points. Like, it's just boring. No, Crackers doesn't even reference so one of the things about Cracker, the slur, I don't consider it a slur. It's a derogative for sure, but I wouldn't say slur. But one of the things about Cracker is it doesn't even refer to what a bunch of people thinks it does, which is like whip cracker. It was a derogatory term used in Ireland that came over here with Irish immigrants. It didn't even start with like whip crackers at slave times. People get that wrong a lot. I'm always confused when fitness influencers follow me on Instagram. I'm like, what are you getting here? What are you hoping for? It ain't fitness content. I'll tell you that much. Scoots Monkey, I don't believe in interpersonal racism. I think it's bullshit. And I think it's an invention of white supremacy to pass the buck of real racism onto the people as opposed to the system where it belongs. I don't do interpersonal racism. Racism without a structure of power behind it is just bullying. And I just don't give a shit about racial bullying, TBH. Like, oh my God, those black people said I don't season my food, guys. They're so racist. Meanwhile, the black person is, oh my God, man, the system is set up to create a school to prison pipeline so that we fail in academia because they don't fund our classrooms enough. So we instead turn to poverty driven crimes, which we all know are a symptom of the system. And then we are thrown into the system at a higher and disproportionate rate. One of those things is really bad. One of those things is being mean. You know, it's just stupid. And I'm not going to live in this world where I fucking handhold white people so that they feel better about themselves. No. Sorry. You guys used to shit in the streets. I'm not going to. Y'all created the Black Plague. Sorry. This one's on you. Fun fact, I'm not unemployed. I'm quite literally doing my job right now. The thing that earns me a paycheck right now. In fact, I get paid in 2 days. Bless up to my Twitch subs. Scoots Monkey, I don't care about the broader discussions in the field. I don't give a shit. That's what I'm telling you. I don't care about the ideas that there's interpersonal racism. I think it's bullshit. And again, I think it is built off of the ability for white supremacy to have an out. And I don't fuck with giving white supremacy an out. I'm sorry people are upset that some people say white people's food is unseasoned. That means jack shit. That means fuck all to me. There's not a single white person in this country who has suffered directly as a byproduct of a racist system. You have some white people who suffer because the racists are trying to fuck, because they want to cast a wide net, and white supremacy wants to hurt black people. That is going to hurt those white people. But they're not being hurt because they're white. They're being hurt because they're poor. White people suffer all the time from class issues. But miss me with that shit about white people suffering from racial issues. Miss me with that. I know you don't think it gives white supremacy an out. I'm telling you, I believe it does. I don't care what like academia is saying about this, right? I believe that the idea of interpersonal racism, the idea that white people can suffer racist prejudice, gives white supremacy an out. Because they're not suffering from any prejudiceness. You've clearly never been to Asia. Did anybody was anybody listening when I said white people in the US? Did anybody hold on? Maybe my ears are clogged. Motherfuckers don't listen, bro. Well, you don't believe black people can be racist? No. They can be racially prejudiced. Or I wouldn't say prejudiced. They can be racially discriminatory 100% of the time. A young child who goes to an all-black school is singled out because of their race has faced racial discrimination, not racism. Two different things. You hate whites. Yeah, I'll go tell my white grandmother. I was like, Grandma, I hate you. I can't hate whites. I'm part white. Isn't that what you guys say all the time? I can say the N-word. I'm like 16% black. Well, I'm halfway. I'll say whatever the fuck I want to say about white people. Oh, fuck. Oh, now I'm getting in trouble for being racially discriminatory to my second half? Make it make sense. Please. Interpersonal racism only gives white supremacy an out if you're relatively simple. That's the stupidest critique I've ever heard. Just sorry to call it out that way, but that's a really dumb critique. You just, do you have anything against Christians, or you just enjoy good art, debate, and challenging ideas? I mean, I think Christianity has been responsible for like some of the worst human rights atrocities on the planet throughout history. And I think that Christianity has been used to prop up quite a many unjust systems. But ultimately, I think it's a silly book that tells silly tales. And it's very funny watching people. What do you think the difference is between racism and racial discrimination? I believe racism has to be systemic. It has to be. Whereas racial discrimination can be anything. I can racially discriminate but discrimination isn't always a negative, right? So like black people can discriminate against white people. Like they can say, well, we don't want you around, you're white, we don't want you near us. But when you look at the reason why black people act this way, almost 100% of the time, it's going to be built off of years of fucking systemic oppression, right? Black people didn't just wake up one day and go, we don't like white people, right? These black people are 9 times out of 10 dealing with a system that's been unjust to them, and they don't trust white people in that system. So then they lash out because they do not trust them, because they've given them no reason to trust them in a system that's fucking oppressed them for fucking 400 plus years more. So I don't believe you can have racism without a system. I think like at that point you just have racial discrimination. And the other part would just be that like when we look at racism, right? When we look at forms of oppression, there is no oppression black people have against white people in this country. We do not maintain any of the power structures going on here. We face the disparity in literally every sector. But yeah, those we should care about the white people for sure. That's actually what we should be focused on. No, I think it's just I personally think it's ridiculous. And all I do is I think it allows the buck to be shifted when we have conversations about white supremacy. It allows people to go, yeah, but I faced racism too. A bunch of black people yelled at me when I was walking down the street. Wow, that is not equatable in any way, shape, or form. How'd you find out that Dr. Mike was a Zionist? Somebody like DM'd me about it on Instagram. I was saying. I'm not having this conversation with you, Scoots. Sorry. Just not. It's not on the board, and I don't waver on my ideas about racism. I don't debate those. Have missed any calls? No, conservatives are too chicken shit to call in today. Which Dr. Mike? The YouTube one. Apparently he visited Israel and was like saying some not so great shit. Trish, thank you for the Cash App. Thank you. But it's cool, guys. It's cool if conservatives are too chicken shit, honestly. You don't need to explain racist thought to me, or like race theory to me, okay? You don't need to do that. Thanks. I don't know what logically constant means, but if you asked if it's logically consistent to be pro-vaccine mandate and pro-choice, yeah, that would be logically consistent. You're moving the goalposts. In what? We're not having a debate with anybody. What goalposts am I moving? What are you talking about? What's your religion? I'm atheist. Damn. I don't believe in God. I don't think he exists. I think the existence of a God is improbable and highly unlikely. Is there a single conservative idea that you can see where they are coming from? I mean, yeah, I can see the idea of small government. Like, I'm a communist. I don't think there should be a central state government to begin with, right? People got to remember that a lot of conservative ideals align with left ideals. For instance, like, I'm pro-gun. I don't think workers should ever be disarmed in a system built on capital. It's just our reasons for these ideals are vastly different. What is the map above the piano? It's Breath of the Wild. Not Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild specifically. Your third point falls flat on itself. Just by your own phrasing, the fact that you have to distinguish between trans and not in order to clarify what you're talking about defeats your argument. You're right. Next time I tell black women that black women are women, I'll remember that no, they're not, because I had to clarify that they were black women. My bad. Forgot adjectives exist. Holy shit. Woo! Adjectives are real hard. Haha. USSR had a central state government. That's why they weren't communist. Mind blown. Did you know the USSR wasn't a communist state? Did you know that? Did you know they hadn't abolished private property fully? Therefore, not communist. The 10% cap on credit cards is an idiotic, it's so stupid. Also, first of all, it's wholly illegal to just say you're implementing that. That would need, Congress would need to implement some sort of legislation about it. Secondly, conservatives were all up in arms about price controls. Now they love price controls. Third, it's only going to affect people with very poor credit scores. They're just not gonna, nobody's gonna get fucking credit, which is half of what, like, do you know how many people in America use credit in order to just buy groceries because they don't have, they're living paycheck to paycheck? All this does is hurt poor people, like almost every one of Trump's policies does. It is stupid. It's dumb. When I say you're moving the goalpost, what I mean is if a white person is constantly berated on the street randomly, hypothetically, you don't classify it as racism. That's not moving the goalpost. That's just my position. No goalpost has been moved. I've held that same position since day one. Moving the goalpost would be if I shifted position. Jesus Christ. That's my second biggest pet peeve, is having to explain debate terms to people. That's pet peeve number 2, bro. When I have to explain debate terms and how to use them properly. Why do leftists love to victim blame white victims of black crimes? Because you touch yourself at night and we don't give a fuck about you. That's why. Eat shit, I don't care. Come back to me when you have an original thought for more than 5 seconds. Not real communism every single time. Notice how these people who want to talk about communism, they can never define it. They can't define to me what communism is. Never. They never want to give. I'm not going to debate communism with somebody that can't define it. It's useless. There are 2 definitions of communism that I tend to see. Actual ones. I'm not talking about like the fake. The state has everything. Fuck ice. Thank you, chat. One would be. Actually, I'm not going to tell you guys what it is in case somebody wants to call it a debate. But one is directly from Engels and the other is the like typically quoted one that you see in leftist spaces that I'm not a big fan of. Like the typical one leftists tend to use. I used to use it, but I actually think it doesn't give a complete picture anymore. You're a racist. No, I can't be racist. I'm part white. Can't be racist to white people if I'm white. If y'all get to be Native American when you got when you're 1/16 Cherokee, I get to be white. I'm like 45% white. So I'm white. I don't know what you're talking about. Can't be racist to myself. Play the piano. I don't have a microphone back there yet. Someone should buy. If somebody needs to buy me a USB hub, second microphone I can hook up over there, a camera, and then chords that I can run up and down, and then I can play piano on screen. I love when they use slurs in chat and then Nightbot just instantly gets them. I miss that. Make a wish list. We do it. Wish list. Wish list. Black people can be white supremacists. Absolutely. Black people can uphold. In fact, systems of oppression tend to need people from inside of the oppressed groups to help them uphold it. There are tons of black people who are white supremacists. Jeff Meade, Officer Tatum come to mind. Let me see if I have to make an Amazon wish list. I don't even know what would I need to add to it. Would a Shure be good for over by my piano? Like this Shure mic's only $199 right now. For an XLR only. This is the Shure MV7X, the XLR. This one's small. I know Chris would fucking kill me if I didn't just get the SM7B, but they're so expensive. I would just need something that's good for music stuff. What I would need to do is I would hook everything up over there, put the wires up and down. I would want that to go XLR. I'd probably then update this too with an XLR so I can nix the USB port that it's using and just send both to XLR. I could get the Steam Deck that has the XLR ports. About a bit like it's a future, maybe sometime this year. It's not a no for sure. Dude, MAGA is so scared that we've been live for almost an hour and no one's called in. Let me go to the bathroom and then I'll be right back. Gang, gang, baby. Okay, so if I moved, I don't know how I want to do this, guys. Like, I'm trying to think of how I would want to wire stuff up for the piano. And I'd need a screen over there too to put chat on. Like, I could do that with like a wireless display, right? There are some people being screened right now. Listen, I would love to debate people inside of VR chat. That'd be so fucking funny. Yeah, no, XLR I know is what I want to do. It's just what mic I want to get. You know what? Then I'll just hold on. I'm gonna. I don't know, man. How many hours do I have on VR chat? Like 2? I don't even have a VR headset anymore. I gave it away to some kid for Christmas. I didn't use it. VR was like a cool gimmick, but I just wasn't a fan. All right, we finally got a call. We'll take it while I continue to update this Amazon list. Oh, that's why I'm not logged into my... All right. Okay, coming up to the show, we have Cole. Cole wants to talk about gender affirming care for youth and thinks that we should not be doing it. Let's see how Cole defends that. Cole, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and your pronouns.
Sure. I am 19 years old, and how did I say it? I am a cisgender male, and my pronouns are he, him.
Okay. Yep, that works, Cole. Now, you think
Perfect.
gender affirming care for youth is a bad thing? Can you just tell me why?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. So I'm just going to preface by saying that I'm really trying to get back into dating, and I firmly believe the things that I'm espousing. However, I probably, as I'm sure you can guess, and I don't have all of these same statistics and things that you probably have memorized. So I'm going to do my best to have like a respectful, nice debate and see what I can learn, because I'm always open-minded to learning new things from different people. Is that all right with you?
Fine.
Yeah, okay. So I believe it's like this. My personal philosophy when it comes to things like this is that I don't believe in the whole LGBTQ and trans movement. However, as long as it's not infringing on me, as long as people aren't pushing this agenda onto me, I don't care what you do behind closed doors. The point of contention for me is that when we say, okay, we're going to take gender affirming care and allow kids under the age of 18 to completely get hormonal replacement therapy, transition to different gender. My problem with that is that the actual brain development, I believe, I could be wrong, doesn't fully develop until age of 25.
So that's just really quickly, that's a bit of a misnomer.
Yes,
the brain never stops developing. What happens around 25 is just sort of prunes away neurons that it's not using.
Sure, but neurogenesis becomes very, very stifled after a certain point.
Not really, no.
Brain has something around. Yes, I'm sorry. All due respect.
There's like a big push in development where it speeds up between I want to say it's like 16 and 24. It like has a big push of speed in its development, but the brain never stops developing. It's always developing. It's always maturing.
But it's the point where your brain has around 100 billion neurons, and at a certain point, neurogenesis slowly starts to debilitate. But fine. Regardless, I believe that the brain is not fully developed then. And the same way how we don't allow people to get tattoos under the age of 18 because they're not able to make decisions like that to an adult, I believe the same thing should apply to gender affirming care.
Can somebody under the age of 18 get a tattoo with a parent's written consent?
With a parent's written consent in a specific state, or saying like federally overall?
Just in general.
I believe so. I want to say I'm not 100% certain, but I'm assuming you can tell me.
Yeah, they can. So then let's just do it that way. If you have your parents' consent, you can get gender affirming care.
If a 5-year-old, hold on, from what age?
What type of medical affirming care would a 5-year-old need?
No. I'm talking for tattoos specifically.
I don't care one way or another about tattoos. Like I don't. Tattoos aren't what I'm talking about here.
Right, but I'm making an extrapolation from that.
I don't have an answer.
And by the way, it's very. Tattoos. Oh, by the way, actually, parent consent in some states has to be from 16 plus for minors. Under that age, they are prohibited from getting tattoos. I am pretty certain. And some states like New York or California prohibit tattooing anyone under age of 18 with no exceptions, even with parental permission. So your initial premise is a little flawed, I'm afraid.
What about medical tattoos?
Medical tattoos? I'm not talking about medical tattoos. Give me an example.
Well, some kids get tattoos to cover up scars, or they get medical tattoos to, like, let's say they lose a nipple. They'll get like a nipple tattooed on them.
Yeah. Okay, but correct me if I'm wrong. The first point you made, it sounds more of a cosmetic issue than actual necessity.
It's a cosmetic issue. Wait, what are you talking about? This is just use. Your claim here is because we don't give kids tattoos, we shouldn't give kids gender affirming care, but the tattoo rule isn't across the board.
Okay, but
again, what line of the sand are you making? Sure. So then it would vary by state where you could get gender affirming care, correct?
Right, but every single state has a rule that you have to be at least 18. But my question to you is, why is that?
Unless you have parental consent, and some states let you do it younger.
Now, so my question is to you: why is there that rule in place? Why can't any teenager go in and get a tattoo? That's my question.
Because typically we save tattoos for like legal adults. Usually it's because we're worried they might end up regretting the tattoo that they get, and it's just
fine.
it's a lot of money and hassle to then remove the tattoo.
Okay, but also because of my regret decision. So wouldn't you argue that a major life decision like transitioning should wait until you're at least 18?
What's the regret rate for tattoos? What's the regret rate for tattoos?
What's the what?
What is the regret rate for tattoos?
Not sure.
You don't know?
No,
it's between 16 and 40. It's anywhere between 16 and 44%.
Okay.
What's the regret rate for gender affirming care, even in minor populations?
For gender, in like a specific state or in general?
In general.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's around 9%, 8 or 9%.
It's 3% on the high end.
Are you sure about that one?
100% positive, yes.
100%. Can I ask for your source if that's all right?
Yeah, sure. I'll pull you up the study directly.
Perfect. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, so re-identification with birth, registered sex in a Western Australian pediatric gender clinic cohort. They have the regret rate. This would be people, in this instance, people desisting after being prescribed puberty blockers and or hormones. It's 1% in this study. I can give you some more if you'd like. That's just one study. I can give you more.
Sure. And those were taken, were those, all of those studies, were they taken in every single state and added in collectively?
This is Australia.
Okay, but I'm not talking, all due respect, I want to talk about America specifically.
What would be the difference between, why would the regret rate in America be different than the regret rate in Australia?
Could be for a variety of reasons.
Such as?
It could be the way people are, it could depend on a variety of things. It could be the way people grew up here, culture, expectations, norms.
Can you be specific, please? Because if you're calling into the validity of the study now, you're saying, well, this wouldn't work as regret rate because regret rate in the US would be different. You need to now provide some sort of actual like logical grounding in which the regret rate would be different, because we use studies like this all the time. So I don't know what the issue would be.
Sure, but if this whole premise, your whole call is predicated in America, and the regret you're talking to me about comes from people in Australia, how is that a fair correlation?
Because the populations of trans people in Australia and America are pretty similar. I mean, culturally, America and Australia are not that different.
Right, but I'm saying from a populational point of view, I'm saying it's a different countries entirely. Hell, it's different continent. So I'm saying my question is,
people are people.
It could be irrational.
It's such a lazy argument. People are people. Like, you don't have this massive change in the way human psychology works just because you've gone to a different country.
But even then, I believe a serious decision such as this should be made after age 18 because you're not fully developed.
Why?
You still have hormones running rampant. As a child,
what harm happens by getting it prior to 18?
Okay. So at this point, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I've seen several, I can't recall exactly specific people, regret stories. If you were to undergo the surgery, I do believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, that you can't have children and like all of your like genitalia and all that removed and replaced. I don't believe.
What do you mean by you can't have children? If somebody who's like male who has bottom surgery, which we save for 18 anyway, so I don't know why that's in the discussion. If they save their sperm, why can they not have children? Oh, he hung up. Guess we'll see if he calls back. And real quick, I got to call. Jimmy Snow wants me to call him, so let me call him real quick. Have some music. Now that's taken care of. Sucks that the other guy hung up. I thought we were at the point of the debate where he was going to have to start substantiating his claim. Maybe he'll call back. Let's take the next caller. Coming up to the show, we have Patrick. Patrick also wants to talk about gender affirming care, and thinks that there are things that might make us regret being as lenient on it. Patrick, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
Hey, Patrick. I'm 35. I honestly respond to pronouns equally, I think, but I have the longest history of responding to he, him. So let's say he, him.
Okay.
I work with a lot of Filipinos that sometimes they call me she, or, in some languages, the delineation between masculine and feminine is not as important. And, I just say sure or whatever.
I gotcha. So you think that we shouldn't be as lenient with gender affirming care as we are. Is that correct?
Actually, let me amend that a little bit. The attitudes that we talk about gender affirming care on shows like this should not be as confident and lenient. I actually don't know. I don't have data for you right now in hand for like if gender affirming care, for example, puberty blockers. If that, I don't really know exactly if those are being handed out like candy in real life. But to discuss them as if they are a clear, obvious therapy solution, without any caveats on a show like this is what concerns me.
To discuss them as if they're a solution with no caveats. How do I discuss them as if they're a solution with no caveats, specifically?
Oh, so let me add some more history. This is my second time calling. The first time we called, I got excited. I heard a host on YouTube say, hey, look, God, can we get someone that could debate? I want to debate. So then I called and I was like, all right, I'll give you a debate. And I was like, just info dumping my contradictory, points, and it was all flurry. And it really kind of ended with telling me to read a study.
Before we even get there, you made a claim that the way that I speak about these things on my show is too lenient, but now you're saying that you need to get some context because you don't actually know the way that I speak about it on my show.
Oh, I don't watch your show every day. Right. So there you go. Boom. You got me burned. No,
well, it's not burned. It's just weird that you're making a claim about my show without having watched my show, but okay.
Oh, I just mean from the titles. So the stupid liberal guy says this, can't defend himself. Like, to me, the whole concept of even me calling this is weird, right? Like, this is all very performative, just innately, right? You got to get them clicks. Yeah.
If we don't want it to be performative, if we don't want it to be performative, I'll hang up and I'll delete the video. I'll delete the recording of this point.
Okay, I'll perform. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Wait, what? I just told you don't have to perform. I'll delete this video right now. I'll hang up and delete the video. I don't want to be performative.
You just want my authentic self?
No, it seems like you're weaseling out of your claim because you realized you didn't have a point. And now you're trying to paint it as, you're performative, so that's what I'm talking about. So we won't perform. I'll move on to the next person. We won't perform.
Okay, so I'll go back to the topic then. I think with a lot of gender affirming care, we're only getting new data on this now. Am I still on? Sorry. Oh, yeah. I think there are secondary effects with pain with coitus that happens for both transmasculine and trans feminine. That are just, there's new studies now. The one that just came out a few months ago, I'd love to show you.
Okay, what's the study called?
Sure. Hold on a second. All right, so pain with coitus, also called dysphoria. This study, source, prevalence of vulvar pain and dysphoria in transmasculine individuals. Research gates, let me check an author. For your listeners, one takeaway I'm seeing here was something like reported prevalent. Okay, hold on. Okay. I'm seeing 60 to 62% of trans masculine individuals experience painful intercourse. This is significantly higher than the reported prevalence in cisgendered women. Cisgender women is anywhere from 3 to 48%. And then to the cisgendered women prevalence, you got to add that a lot of cisgender women have pain after childbirth. So there's that element as well.
Yeah. Why would this be a reason for us not to go ahead with gender affirming care?
So in the event that the child, if through their own journey, they find that their gender is something in between, not necessarily on the binary, and if they want to, penetrate themselves in the vagina again, it's going to be really tough to have pleasurable coitus in the vagina.
How long did the people in this study, how long were they on gender affirming medical care?
Let's look at it. Let me pull up the full PDF now. I don't know if my long silence is cool or not. I think I'm an anxious little boy. Okay, so this was a voluntary online survey.
Yep.
Don't like that so much. 18, 16, 4 years old.
You didn't know that?
No, I'm a busy guy. Probably read this a month ago. Let's see.
And you didn't read the part where it said it was an online survey?
I may have, yeah. I probably glanced over it. I don't know. I work like 90 hours a week. Oh, you didn't know about this study already, my friend? Oh,
well, I never made a claim to read it. You made the claim that you did read it.
No, okay, so yeah. I've seen many studies all the time. Like there's new emerging research on this stuff. Like we can look at the citations for this study. It's all stuff coming out now, and I really it's referencing an argument that we had that no one here can know about. It's just boring. But there was a lot of just like, no, they don't. They don't have pain with coitus. It's like, did you read the Swedish study where no one regrets having, I did. And so I did read more about that survey study you told me to go read. And that one had significant limitations that weren't characterized.
What are the reasons this study says there might be issues with pain during coitus? What are the reasons the study labels?
It's going to be lack of lubrication. There's an atrophy to some of the tissues. And then there's going to be limitations of this study as well, though, when it comes to psychosocial factors as well. And then also, I don't even know I didn't even see if it controlled. That was a great question you asked me. Let me know if you find it before I do, regarding the length of hormonal therapy. That's a good question.
Well, it doesn't seem like they took that information.
No. So for your listeners, yes, this is not some big debate win gotcha with this study either. But that there's the fact that
I do want to point out that the study says that the dyspareunia is possibly due to psychological factors, such as gender dysphoria.
Oh, yeah.
There is some that may be due to atrophy from testosterone exposure. But there was no statistical difference between those with dyspareunia on testosterone compared with those not on testosterone.
Oh, that's good. That's encouraging, actually. And that helps dissuade some of my paranoia. One thing in our first call we kept touching on was like, I'm going to be full of confirmation bias when it comes to the negative effects because I'm in a hospital. I'm only seeing people that things shit went wrong, right? So I actually really appreciate you pointing that out. Oh, my kid's back. I got to go. I love you.
A little early to be saying that, but okay. I don't know why we... Yo, maybe read the studies before you call in. Like, what? Fun fact about the vulvar pain. In contrast, the prevalence of vulvar pain symptoms in the study at 9.6 among all transmasculine individuals was similar to the prevalence of 8% to 16% in the general population reported in other studies. So it's not even like they have a higher prevalence of pain. That was fun. What the fuck? I just feel like, had you have read, this is just in the conclusion, well, you wouldn't have had to call in, you know? Had we just read the conclusion. We have one more person in the calling queue that we're going to take. If anybody else wants to call in, 219-327-8005. You can wait to call in when I'm on with Jimmy at 9:30. We'll be on, Jimmy, so in another 3 hours. But I guess we'll take the next caller and see what happens. Coming up next, we have Ben, also calling about gender-affirming care for youth. Ben, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
Hello, I'm 27, and I go by they, them.
Okay. Now, Ben, you think we should not be giving medical gender-affirming care, is that correct?
Yes. Correct.
Okay, why?
I'm aware that I think I'm very undereducated in this, and I don't really think I've done my research appropriately. Listening to the other callers, I from my understanding, basically the puberty blockers. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous. The puberty blockers basically halt puberty. Right? Is that how they work?
Pubertal suppressants would essentially pause the side effects of puberty, yes.
Right. So if it's something your body's doing on its own, wouldn't stopping it have negative effects?
It can, just like there are potentials for negative side effects for any medical treatment. Like, for instance, to give something comparable, there's negative side effects for birth control because it affects the hormones, right? But we just look at whether the benefits of birth control outweigh the risks of the side effects. And typically we allow the individual to decide that.
Okay. So when you say youth, like how young are these people? Like,
well,
when do we typically...
It would depend on what we're looking at. If we're looking at pubertal suppressants, that's going to happen around Tanner stage 2 is when those would be given to people. That can be anywhere from I think it's 11 to 13 is Tanner stage 2.
And that's usually when kids start going through puberty, right?
Yeah, because you wouldn't take pubertal suppressants until you start exhibiting puberty or pre-puberty symptoms. So typically we would wait for, like I said, around Tanner stage 2. And then we would go from there.
Right. So, and I'm aware that not all trans children have gender dysphoria. So, what is the alternative to puberty blockers? Like, I know kids can socially transition. Is that not an option before trying to give them medicine for it?
Most of the time you do socially transition, but puberty blockers are actually meant to give you time to decide whether you want HRT. Typically, you're given puberty blockers for 12 to 24 months so that your parents and your doctors can decide whether or not HRT is the next right step for you. Otherwise, if it is, they'll stop the pubertal suppressants, you'll move on to masculine or feminizing hormones. And if it's not, you'll stop the pubertal suppressants and you'll just continue with your body's naturally progressed puberty.
But wouldn't that also have some societal backlash? Like you're having a kid stop their puberty and then restart it after some amount of time. Wouldn't they be late on the curve?
Why would that have late on the curve? What do you mean? Like, if you're male, what you just don't you don't develop, like there are people who develop late in puberty already as it is.
I suppose you're right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so these so puberty blockers specifically, since I've already brought that up, how reversible is it? Like once you stop taking it, does it just naturally kick back in?
Yeah, your body tends to naturally just kick back into puberty, because you have to remember, we already use pubertal suppressants on cisgender kids who have precocious puberty all the time, and they're on it for longer. You can start precocious puberty like as early as like 7 years old. All right. So that those kids would be on it until they're like 11, 12, 13. They're on it for a much longer period of time. And yes, there may be some side effects, right? And we do monitor those. That's why you're monitored by a doctor. But as long as your doctor's monitoring you, those things can be very negligible.
All right. Okay. I wasn't like super against it. I kind of didn't really understand it mostly. I mean, I didn't think it was a good thing, but how you're describing it doesn't sound like a bad thing. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say on that.
Okay. No problem.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good rest of your day.
You as well.
All right. Anybody else? What? Oh, they are here. I was like, where the fuck are my saved videos? They're still here. There we go. Nope. What? There we go. Sad the call didn't end with "I love you" like the last guy. Yeah, I know. How dare he? Only lunatics believe your shit, or people who can read. Pretty sure people who can read do as well, because they have the power to read. You might not, though, so apologies. Most Americans don't have reading comprehension past the 6th grade level. Have you heard of Sylvia Online? They help with reading. If you are other language, there's Muzzy. Can also work. I don't know if you've heard of Muzzy before. He tends to help people who need help reading. I didn't even see these super chats. Thank you guys. We'll read all the super chats at the end of stream. So W to you guys in the chat. So you believe everything you read? Yep, totally. Yeah, that's what the listening comprehension could go a long way with you, dog. What's a bubble? I was like, the fuck is in my water? Oh, it looks like one of these callers might have a theism debate, so bless. Yo, by the way, I think the fucking theist hung up. God damn it. Okay, listen. I have a guest that's going to be coming on the podcast. Once I cook back up with the podcast, I have a guest who's going to be joining me on the podcast. Okay. I'm not going to give no spoilers because we haven't worked anything out yet other than they said they will come on. Somebody that I've become friends with through being mutuals on Instagram. But I will say Jimmy's podcast episode was already filmed. We just haven't released it yet. But I will say that this person I'll give a hint. They are on one of the most popular animated TV shows currently airing right now. And they're with the shits, and I will have him on very soon. I just got to figure out a date that I can have him join me for the podcast. And that's all I'll say. It's not Bob the drag queen, but Bob said they'd come on. I should just fucking text him and see when he can fucking join. I'm not answering, but I will say someone did guess it. But I'm not telling you. But I did see the answer. If you follow me on Instagram, you might know just because you might have seen me interacting with this person. So anyway, no, I'm not telling you guys. It's going to be a surprise. I should actually message them now. Be like, okay, when you available, my G? Me and Bob have done stuff before. Bob the drag queen, he really wanted to get into debate talk at one point. So me and him sat on a video call and I was helping him get his stream stuff ready. I was supposed to go visit him when he lived in New York, but the week he asked me to come visit him, I was moving to Florida, so I couldn't. But Bob is chill as fuck. Nobody's in the calling queue. They all hung up. Next stream, y'all, I'm doing a full theist board because I really want to do some theist debates. So you know the drill. God is evil. Christianity is fake. God condones slavery. All that good stuff. There's stuff on your YouTube with Bob. No. Did he ever post it to his YouTube? I don't remember. We did a panel together once on TikTok. But no, we don't have any collabs together, I'll bet. What's my drag name? I don't know. Voluptuous bosoms. Your drag name should be Jimmy Snow. Is fucking hilarious. Someone's being screened now. We'll see if they get through. Kyle, thank you for the Cash App. Said, I can't believe you got Sam Cedar from Bob's Burgers. I did not, but you know, one of these days, I'm gonna get on one of these bigger left streams. But I feel like I feel like the reason I don't get asked, because there are people on the left who have much smaller platforms than I do, who get much less views, who get asked. I think I'm just too divisive in the shit I say. I don't give a fuck what I say. And so I think that screwed me in a lot of collabs. How do we get you on the majority report? I don't know. Like, you know, I'm pretty much like, I'll say fucking anything. I don't give a fuck. Simon's already been a guest on the podcast, and Simon's not an actor. Simon's an autist. Simon did my profile picture, the one of me as a Bob's Burger character. I actually have to see if Simon wants to play Peak again now that the new update's out. We need more emotes. Maybe. Always have somebody work on some more. I think the greatest joke in Bob's Burgers peaks in episode 1. Truthfully, I don't think they ever do. Actually, let me not say peaks, but I think one of their best jokes is in episode 1. Where Bob is like, I'm bad at dates. And he forgets all the dates. And he's like, oh, it was your birthday? And one of them, he's like, it was my birthday. And he's literally all dressed up. That shit is so funny. That is, Bob's Burgers has like a fucking tough first episode. Like, that shit is tough. I miss the chaotic Bob's Burgers. Okay, looks like we finally got some calls. Let's take a look. All right, next up we got Scott. Scott wants to talk about topic number 5, MAGA being uneducated. Scott, if you hear me, can you provide me your age and pronouns?
Yeah, I'm here. My age is 18 and my pronouns are just a regular male, he, him.
Okay, now Scott, you think MAGA are not uneducated?
Yeah. Well, I think specifically more bad people. I don't think all of MAGA are bad necessarily.
I don't either. I think some are uneducated.
That's fair. But so I would like to first I'd like to ask what you exactly define as MAGA. Like, who is MAGA?
At this point, I would label MAGA as anyone who supports Donald Trump and the Trump administration.
Okay. So, like, most of the Conservative Party and Republican Party.
I would say the Republican Party has been almost entirely taken over by MAGA, yes. At this point in time, yeah.
Okay. So, like, that's going to be roughly like 30% of the United States, correct?
Could be.
Like, to just to look at how many people voted for Trump in the last election, it was around 30%, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like 27% specifically, but yeah.
Okay. So if 30% of the United States, and that's just the voting.
If you're going to ask, the answer is
portion of
yes.
the
I think
United
30% of the United States, I think conservatively, 30% of the United States are definitely uneducated. Probably way more than that.
That's fair, but like it's mostly like a random 30%. Like there's anyone from like LA to Charleston, all like anyone from the United States could have voted for Trump. It's like it's not necessarily random, but I don't think it's crazy to say that it's like only one certain group of people voted for Trump.
I think the people that voted for Trump were either uneducated or they were bad people.
Yeah, okay. So also what would you describe as uneducated?
In the context of this prompt, it would be people who are unaware or who lack the knowledge of political policy, legislation, and the effects of those policies and legislations on people both domestically and foreign.
Lack knowledge completely, or
yes, you would lack that knowledge. You would be uneducated on it. You might have a little bit of understanding, but you're uneducated on it. Doesn't mean you can't get educated. But when you get educated, either you would stop supporting Donald Trump or you would keep supporting him, in which case you're a bad person for supporting him, even through the education that you received.
Okay. So, but uneducated means that you have little knowledge of how the United States government works or what they're doing more of, right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then a bad person. What would you describe as a bad person?
Somebody who supports policies that unilaterally hurt the lowest and poorest in our society. Those are bad people.
Okay. So, like, a bad person is automatically, if they're trying to hurt someone else just by supporting, that counts as a bad person, even if, like, they made mistakes and they regret.
If they've been educated, right, on what those policies are doing, and they no longer support Trump because of them, then they're not bad people. They've recognized that what they did was wrong, and they're trying to, they're moving away from that. If they've been educated on what he's doing and how it's hurting people, and they still support him, then they're bad people.
Okay. I don't think that's crazy to say. Okay. So let's say okay, me personally, I didn't vote in the last election. I wasn't old enough at that point. So, but I probably would have voted for Trump if I would have voted at all.
Why?
Right? So that automatically makes me a bad person or uneducated, correct?
Correct. Well, if you still support him right now, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I can ask you a qualifying question so we can confirm whether you are or not.
Okay.
Do you know what CCOT is?
CCOT? Yes.
Okay. Do you support sending people to CCOT?
No.
Okay. But you still support Donald Trump even though he's currently doing that?
Yes. I can support a
person
without completely supporting all of their decisions.
If somebody said, I support Hitler, but I don't support the concentration camps, would that make sense?
That makes sense.
It does?
Except that could still, yeah. Just because you support
do you
one
recognize your support for him enables the concentration camps?
Yes.
And you still support him?
That doesn't. Yes. That does not mean that if I support one of his things, I support everything of him.
But you know that you supporting him continues to prop the concentration camps up.
Yes.
And even
but
knowing
even
that your support continues to push through the concentration camps, you're going to continue to support him.
Yeah. But I can still support him and what's the word? ask him, like, I don't know the word. Ask him basically to stop doing stuff like that.
And you think he's going to?
Petition. Personally, I'm not past it.
You're not past what?
Petitioning. I mean, that's why the United States was made, was for the people to be heard, wasn't it?
Okay, Donald Trump comes up and says, yeah, we're definitely not going to stop doing this. Now what?
Then I would stop supporting him.
Okay, because he has outwardly said he's not going to stop sending people to CCOT.
Mm-hmm.
So do you still support him?
Well, can you cite that for me, please?
Sure.
Where he has come out and said, I will not stop.
Sure. Let me get you some specific quotes. So this is what he said. Now, this, by the way, just so you're aware, this was before he started sending people there. This was March of 2025 that he said this. He said, actually, this is just an outward lie. He said, if we had a legal right to do it, I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't know if we do or not. We're looking at that right now. So he's admitted he would love to send people, U.S. citizens. And this was U.S. citizens. This was when he was asked if he would send U.S. citizens. So he's already sending people there. So he's asked, would you send U.S. citizens there? He's like, if it's legal in a heartbeat, right? He said, if it's a homegrown criminal, I have no problem sending them there.
Okay.
When asked if he would call the president of El Salvador and get home innocent people from CCOT, he said, I could do that. I won't do it, but I could. So acknowledging that he has the power to get innocent people home, but he doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But if I choose to support CCOT, that automatically makes me a bad person.
If you support concentration camps,
correct?
that makes you
or
a bad
uneducated.
person. Yes. If you let me phrase it this way: if you when we're voting in the United States, we have two options. We have option 1 and we have option 2. Option 2 is the worst option. Option 2 is Trump. It makes you a bad person to support option 2, yes. When option 1 would not lead to the same outcomes. Now, some people say option 1 might lead to the same outcomes. I don't think that's the case, but currently right now, Donald Trump is the president. You can stop supporting him, and then it'll be a decision that we have to make at voting time. But you could stop your support of Donald Trump and the Republican administration right now, right? And when midterms come, you could elect, you could vote blue on the ballot and get him impeached and removed because he's running concentration camps where he's trafficking people. If you don't want to do that and you go, well, I'm still going to support Donald Trump, then yes, I think you're a bad person.
Okay.
I think people can change. I think you could go, I'm going to stop supporting him, and then you would no longer be a bad person.
Yeah. So bad person, you can come back from being a bad person, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So okay. I understand.
Let me ask you a question. What's the reason you do support Donald Trump currently?
Mostly because he's actually doing things to change America. Like the left party, it's
Negative or
not,
positive things?
At least for me, I don't think it matters too much. I think if it's negative or positive, it doesn't really matter as long as things are happening and people are starting to notice. Because if it's moving towards bad and people start to get affected by the bad, I think that either the country will try to replace whatever is making their lives bad. Or in the case of like, if you bring up Germany in World War II, of course, other countries had to come in and restart like their whole political system because they found it was corrupt and it was only rewarding some of the people that had the voting rights.
Scott, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You said it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. You're going to support because there's change, period. Whether that change is good or bad. Do you not recognize that like concentration camps are a bad thing?
For the most part, I think that this country needs change, and I think that if there's change, it will. If it's a bad change, people will change it to be good.
What happens to all of the people that are in the concentration camp waiting on the people to change the bad change?
Yeah, it's not good.
So might it be better to just never get to the point of concentration camp?
I think we're like, there's no stopping that.
We could have
I think
stopped
that
it.
people will. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Such as like not voting in Donald Trump. That could have stopped it.
But would my vote have really mattered?
Not yours, but like collectively, all the people that voted for Trump, had they not voted for Trump, yes, that would have mattered.
Okay. But because I voted one way, it doesn't matter, because I could have easily voted the other way. But because I voted one way, there's change happening, and now people are starting to realize things need to change. Because
Scott, you might not have fired the gun, but you gave one of the bullets.
Yeah.
That's still bad.
But it doesn't matter if I gave them a bullet or not, because
Yeah,
they
it does.
have plenty of other bullets from anyone else.
With less bullets, less people die.
Not in this situation.
Yes, in this situation.
It doesn't matter if you won by one vote.
Right now,
or
what you're trying to do, Scott, is you're trying to find a way to, your brain is fighting itself. And it's trying to have a way to logic itself out of the position of being a bad person. And it's struggling. So now it's just saying, yeah, I voted for concentration camps, but it doesn't matter because so did everybody else. That still means you voted for concentration camps. Or you support concentration camps, not voted for them. But it still means you support concentration camps.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad thing, Scott.
Bad thing, yeah.
Do you
But people
recognize
will
that
know.
that's a bad thing?
I'm not sure if it's exactly a concentration camp for sure, but
You
for
don't.
this situation, yeah.
You don't. What would be the difference between CCOT and, let's say, a concentration camp during like 1940s Germany? What would be the difference?
Well, I think I haven't really done that much research specifically on 1930s Germany, so I can't really provide you with that.
Okay. A concentration camp, just so you're aware, is a place where a government will put large numbers of people without going through normal legal processes. Okay. These people typically don't commit any crimes to get there. So there's mass detention without due process. Has that been happening at CCOT and like at Alligator Auschwitz and like all these other places? Have they been mass detaining people without due process?
Yes.
And has this group been a part of specific ethnic nationalities, political sides, things like that?
Yeah.
And has these group been civilian populations, not combatants captured in like a war setting?
Yes.
And have people been in these places not allowed to leave voluntarily?
Yeah.
And are these places controlled by the federal government?
Yes.
Then that's a concentration camp.
Okay. But are they like tortured?
How do you define torture? Is putting like hundreds of people in small confined spaces where they don't have much movement, is that considered torture to you?
In some situations, yes.
What situations would that not be considered torture?
Well, a confined space is not like set.
Let's say a
It's
space
not
that is
exactly
not a space that is
specific
not big enough
bond.
to facilitate all of the people.
Isn't it big enough to facilitate all the people?
They're packing them into confined spaces.
Yes.
Let's
but
just
it
go
is
through.
big
Let's
enough
just go through the
to-
list, and you tell me. Let me just go through some stuff, and you tell me if it's torture. Beating detainees, both in hallways and in specific cells meant to punish. Would that be considered torture?
In some situations.
Okay. Deprived of contact with family, lawyers, or outside groups of like rights observers. Would that be torture?
I wouldn't count that as torture, no.
Okay. Sexually coerced violence. Torture?
Yeah, mostly.
Lack of adequate food, medical care, or basic hygiene tools. Torture?
Yes, in extreme situations.
Okay, so CCOT has had repeated physical beatings and abuse allegations, sexual violence allegations. They've been found to be holding people incommunicado and not providing adequate food, medical care, and hygiene tools. So why would I not consider this a concentration camp? What is the difference between CCOT and 1940s Germany? Is it just the torture? So if Germany had just captured all the Jewish people and not put them in not like mass killed them, would those not be concentration camps now all of a sudden?
I think it would be a lot less worse.
I'm not talking about whether it's worse. I'm talking about would it still be a concentration camp? Auschwitz was worse than other
Doesn't
concentration camps. Did it make those other places not concentration camps?
Well, it's yes, but it doesn't matter how, like, if it's a concentration camp or not, whether you consider
No.
it that. It all matters about how, like, bad it really is in these concentration camps.
Would an innocent person suffering through any of this be justified?
In some situations, yes.
In what
Well, not
situations?
innocent,
In what situations is it justified that an innocent person would have to suffer through any of this?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
What did you
I didn't
mean
realize
to say?
you said innocent.
Okay. You think guilty people should be forced to suffer through this too?
Yes, specifically guilty people.
You think the state should send guilty people to concentration camps?
Well, by your definition, many prisons are concentration camps. No?
You think so?
Yes.
How so?
All of those things can happen in a prison. Like everything you listen
It's
to
not about the
easily
things
happen in a
happening. The
prison.
things
And
happening in there were the torture that you asked for. But a prison, as much as I don't like prisons, now listen, I'm a prison abolitionist. I don't think prisons should exist. But prisons don't meet point number one, mass detention without due process. Kind of have to go through a legal system to get into prison, right? And then you have court. Prisons don't really meet group-based targeting on their faces. I won't lie that like Black people are targeted to be thrown in prison in the US, but like on its face, it doesn't. So it's not meeting those two initial points for concentration camps.
it's pretty close. For the torturing, at least, that's really like, so point one is a big part, and the torturing is also a big part, right? For making
No, concentration camps do not need forced work or mass killings or torture to be considered concentration camps. That would be a misnomer of learning about what concentration camps are solely through World War II.
Okay.
Because there's concentration camps, then there's extermination camps or death camps. They can, a death camp can be a concentration camp, but not all concentration camps are death camps. But Scott,
Yeah,
I'm just
I know.
confused why you're holding water for concentration camps right now. Seems weird.
I don't think that CCOT is exactly, I guess by definition, it is a concentration camp, but to compare it to World War II Germany that's disrespectful.
Says who? What about all of the people who lived through World War Germany concentration camps who have made the comparison themselves? Is that disrespectful?
Are you saying that people from World War II have lived in CCOT?
No, I'm saying they've looked at CCOT and said that this is similar to what they experienced.
Have they?
Yes.
Can you say that?
Yeah, sure. So David Moskovic, who is an Auschwitz survivor, spoke specifically about alligator Auschwitz and said that what he saw was disturbing and that the conditions were similar to conditions he experienced. You have the Holocaust Museum. The Holocaust Museum has weighed in as well, calling alligator Auschwitz a concentration camp. Is the Holocaust Museum calling these places concentration camps? Is that disrespectful?
I don't think so. Probably not. But
Okay.
these could be easily politically charged statements.
Oh, okay. So the goalpost moved. So now it's that they're politically charging the statements. Not that these people who have studied and lived through concentration camps recognize similarities between the camps that this government is putting up and the camps that they lived through.
Mm-hmm.
Makes total sense. Scott, I'm sorry. I just think you're a bad person, and I hope you don't have a good rest of your day because it's weird that you're holding water for concentration camps. Goodbye. I have to use the bathroom real quick. I see Zach in the calling queue. Zach, we will get to you as soon as I can use the bathroom. So give me 1 second. Can't believe we had a concentration camp defender here on stream, guys. Okay, let's bring in the next person. Coming up to the show, we got Zach. Zach wants to talk about Trump being a terrible president. So let's see. Zach, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
Hey, what's going on, man? 30 and Mahi.
Okay. Now, Zach, you voted for Donald Trump. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you think Donald Trump is a good president. Is that also correct?
It depends on your definition of good.
Well, based
But
on your definition of good.
Okay, my definition of good, which I separate personality from policy. So my definition of a good president would be policy-wise, and so far, taking the negatives with the positives, I would say that policy-wise, overwhelmingly, is in a good direction. I like the direction he's taking the country.
Okay. Which policy specifically?
Man, there's a few. So I love how he, leading up to the 2024 election, we were told that in order to have the border closed, we had to enact legislation. Executive orders wouldn't have handled it. And now...
I'm sorry, Zach.
Some of the...
Really quickly, can you just tell me a time within the last 15 to 20 years where the border was open? I must have missed that.
What do you... No. It's not open. It's... illegal border crossings were the highest under the Biden administration.
Sure, but you said, you said in order to have the border closed, we needed legislation. This is what we were being told, but the border's never been open, so I'm confused. Were those border crossings, just really quick, were those border crossings under Biden, were those illegal border crossings?
They were.
Then the border was closed.
They were. It's certain policies, such as the Remain in Mexico policy that Biden lifted, it created circumstances.
Did Biden lift Remain in Mexico? Illegal. What was the Remain in Mexico policy? I mean,
that folks had to stay in Mexico in order before, they requested asylum.
So the Remain in Mexico had nothing to do. So the Remain in Mexico policy had nothing to do with illegal border crossings then, because this was about asylum seekers who come in legally. We're talking about illegal border crossings, right?
Illegal border crossings, yeah. So why do you think the illegal border crossings surged under the Biden administration?
Because of two reasons. One, COVID ended. So
why are they?
Why are they the lowest during Trump? Yeah, sure. One, they're not at their lowest currently. They are low. I won't deny that they're low right now. The reasons they spiked because Trump has instilled fear in people. People are afraid. I don't think afraid they'll get shot in the face by ICE or sent to concentration camps.
How many people did ICE shoot in the face at the border?
Sure, they're afraid they'll go to concentration camps.
Concentration camps?
Yes.
What are people building weaponry and stuff, or this isn't Germany,
What? What do you think? You know concentration camps exist outside of Germany, right? Germany's not the only place that's had concentration camps. Like it's a pretty important historical fact to know that.
But come on, you're being a little disingenuous. We both know when you say concentration camps, one's mind refers exactly to Germany.
I don't care where minds go. Calling them concentration camps is an accurate descriptor of what they are.
What is concentration camp? Just curious. What is it?
So a concentration camp would be a large government-run facility that detains a large group of people without going through normal legal processes and who tend to be from specific groups.
Who tend to be from specific groups.
Yes,
so,
either ethnically, nationally.
Gangs would be a group.
No, gangs would not be one of the groups. No. But
Okay.
I understand why you would think that because I know why you would think that because you've been brainwashed by the right. So I understand why you would think that.
No. I voted Democrat, previous to Trump. It was because of the Democratic Party that really kind of forced me, because their manipulation, their lying ways, and
what did the Democrats manipulate you on?
What did they manipulate me on?
Yep.
Well, I mean, we could go back to 2016. If I could have voted then, I wasn't able to vote then. We both know that Bernie Sanders. Well, I can't say that. Bernie Sanders should have been the nominee over Clinton had it not been for Wasserman Schwartz, that lady who.
So hold on, let me just really quickly. I don't need to get in the whole rigmarole. You can just say it was the Bernie Sanders thing. So the Democrats didn't let in somebody who was very far left, and because of that, you decided you're now going to support someone who's very far right.
No, they manipulated it.
Yes, they manipulated us from getting a candidate who was far left. So then instead, you went to support a candidate that was far right.
Yes, because the people, at least I could make a choice on my own. The Democrats didn't let me make the choice of supporting someone far left. They just
at least you can make a choice on your own.
Exactly.
To support somebody. What ideals of Bernie Sanders did you want to vote? Did you want to vote for him for?
Well, honestly, I just liked Bernie as a person more so.
So it's not about policies or like legislation. You're just a vibes guy.
No, I mean, it was just like with Obama, I'm sure the majority of people who voted for Obama, black people in the beginning, they voted for him just because he was black. They didn't
I'm not asking about other people. I'm asking about you specifically.
Okay.
You didn't know what Bernie Sanders' policies were. It was just a vibe. You just liked him.
No, well, and not only that, I would say, I did like his Medicare for all. I think that's definitely was
okay. So Medicare
for yes.
You support a policy like Medicare for all, but you voted for Donald Trump, who wants to remove Medicare benefits from people and who does not want a universal health care plan and who has been promising us health care for 10 years and has not delivered on that promise. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't, when you say he wants to remove Medicare from, you say certain people, what do you mean?
The big beautiful bill cuts back on Medicare spending and Medicaid spending. People have to be removed from the plans because they aren't dedicating as much money to funding the plans. The subsidies ended, and Donald Trump literally said today that if the Democrats and Republicans vote to extend the subsidies, he might veto it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like a guy that wants universal health care.
Yeah, well, health care is one of many policies.
Hey, what was another one? Because so then it wasn't that one. What was another one?
So why do I support Trump? I love how he's in your face. He's
so vibes.
He answers questions.
No, he doesn't.
He answers questions. That's something that he does. He answers coming from the previous administration. The amount of
it's vibes. Zach, you can just say it. It's vibes. It's not actually about policy or legislation. It's about vibes. You voted for vibes.
No. Let me finish. Policy-wise, let's see. Let me see if I can get my thoughts here. I don't have anything written down. I love the idea of how he's trying to create a new manufacturing boom within the United States.
We've lost manufacturing
The
jobs under Trump.
Say again?
We've lost manufacturing jobs under Trump.
Maybe few in the short term, but he has a long-term vision of the states. You know, he really wants us to create everything. He wants, he wants the U.S., and that's the whole point of the tariffs. It's like, hey, companies, if you make your products here, you won't be charged a tariff. And that incentivizes companies to start creating products within the United States.
In his first term, he lost 178,000 manufacturing jobs. In his first year, in 2025, we lost 68,000. How specifically, because he's not investing money from the U.S. government to creating these plants, how specifically are they going to bring those manufacturing jobs back? Because he's already running a deficit of 68,000. So he has to make up 68,000 of those jobs.
And as the plants, the newer plants like the, Toyota, they, say that they're building a new plant, I think in Indiana or somewhere in the Midwest. As these plants start, being built and opening, those jobs will be filled again.
What about all of the jobs the manufacturing jobs that we're losing due to the tariffs because companies are closing?
Such as what? Give me examples. Who is closing?
We've lost 68,000 manufacturing jobs. You think those are just seasonal workers or something? What do you think those 68,000? Where do you think those came from?
We lost 70,000 manufacturing jobs
in 2025.
What is your source? Just curious.
The Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics.
So we lost 70,000, and that's in this year.
Correct.
Or when was? Okay, so in the past year we lost 70,000 manufacturing jobs.
Correct.
Because of tariffs. That's your agreement.
Correct.
Well, if that is true, as I say, we can only think of a long-term play. Just like.
So what do we do in the short term?
When he announced the tariffs.
If it's a long-term play, what do we do in the short term? While prices are rising, electronic goods are going upwards of I think 60%. Electricity is up 22%. Groceries are up. What do we do in the short term when all these prices are going on the rise?
Well, it's short-term pain for long-term gain.
Doesn't answer my question. What do we do in the short term?
Gas prices are coming down.
Because Trump's deal with OPEC has expired. That's why gas prices are coming down.
No, it's his relationship with OPEC.
No, do you know what did Donald Trump do with OPEC in January of 2020? Or, I'm sorry, April of 2020 is when he signed the deal. What deal did he sign with OPEC in April of 2020?
I don't know. You let me know what deal did he sign?
He signed a deal with OPEC to limit production. He saw that gas prices were getting low. He limited production at the end of 2020. Gas prices then shot up, and it's taken OPEC through the plan that they had. They're still not fully up. I think it's going to be March of this year. They're going to finally reach back to production numbers that they had pre-OPEC deal. So yeah, gas prices are going down again because the deal he made with OPEC expired, and they've finally been able to catch up. So yeah, it doesn't shock me.
Anything to do with COVID or
COVID? Wait. Or? This was pre-COVID. The deal was pre-COVID. April of 2020.
April of 2020.
Yeah, it was pre the manufacturing. Was it April or February? It was pre the the COVID manufacturing delays. It was pre all of that.
So I think had Trump won the 2020 election, that deal would have, became null and void. It's
What?
the terrible
What?
relationship.
What? He creates a deal where he calls Saudi Arabia and Russia and says, if you guys don't cut gas prices, or if you guys don't cut oil production by 9.7 million barrels a day, I'm going to withhold military protection for Saudi Arabia. I think it was their like prince or whatever. They say yes. The deal goes through. May to June of 2020, we have massive cuts. Finally, we have the unwinds that have taken up to last year. And you're saying what he would have called them had he won him, like, oh, never mind? That can't be a serious. It can't be a serious conversation.
Trump has that much influence over Saudi Arabia to force them to cut the amount of production, oil production?
He has influence over the United States military. So he told Saudi Arabia, either you play ball.
And Russia?
Yes. When it comes to OPEC, yeah, he had that much influence, yes.
Come on. So you're saying Putin is afraid of America's military?
Nope, not saying Putin's afraid of America's military. I'm saying what he did is he threatened Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia said, Russia, we have to play ball, right? We gotta do this, right? It was the Saudi crown prince, okay? And so they did it, and that led to a direct increase in gas prices. And what you're doing now is, instead of acknowledging this, which is literally like a known fact, like there's nobody even on the right who disagrees that this happened. We all know the deal happened. Trump boasted about the deal. Now you're just going, well, it didn't matter. Like, what if Trump was elected, he would have gone back on his deal. What? That's like, I hate to say this, Zach. That's a really stupid sentence.
Well, I'm not that, I guess I'm not that familiar with the OPEC deal in itself. I hadn't done my research on that particular deal. But it would seem, I don't know, it just seems a little, weird how Trump, he has that much influence over Saudi Arabia and Russia to pressure them to cut their, to cut the amount of oil that they produce. And during the Biden administration, Biden, he wasn't able to pressure them to revamp oil production.
You don't understand. You don't. I don't think you understand how oil production works. So this is a hard conversation to have currently, because OPEC did, after I think it was 2021 is when the deal ended. So between 2021 and 2025, they have been working to re-up production, but they were down by 9.7 million barrels per day between April of 2020 and I think it was when, like January of 2021, they were able to start bringing production back up. So they had a lot. So they had a lot to catch up on, Wasn't it? And they have to do it safely. They can't just like push and push, or people will die.
Okay. Hold on. Excuse me. So yeah, my whole argument is that, let me get my piece back. All right. Well,
argument seems to be bred from ignorance.
The perception is reality, and I guess
vibes.
When I see gas prices, and when folks see gas prices considerably higher under the Biden administration, and then we see them falling under the Trump administration, without necessarily knowing, and I guess I could, concede to, the point of not knowing the ins and outs of the OPEC agreement. But when we see the falling, and we can objectively agree that gas is lower under this administration.
So what you just admitted to me is that you don't do research. You see something and you just operate off of vibes. You just assume all correlation is causation. Like, yes, gas prices are currently
Negative.
lundering
Negative.
under Trump, so therefore Trump must have done it. Well, I have a river to sell you in Egypt if that's the case.
Is it the now?
Sure is.
I'll buy. But not necessarily. So other policies. Hold on. Excuse me. But other policies. So why? Let's see. I had a whole litany of things, but you threw me off a little bit.
Sorry, next time I won't
But
present
we-
you with
but
as many
can-
facts and figures.
But can we agree that so well, how do you feel about ICE actually? What do you think about what
I
they're
feel
doing?
like ICE is committing multiple civil rights violations. I think they are running unchecked. And now they have the vice president telling them that they have full immunity for whatever. And now they're going to go even further into unchecked. I am very much a small government, don't tread on me kind of person. So I do not want a police force stopping anyone they want and demanding identification. Fuck ICE. Same way I would tell a regular cop if they stopped me and said, "Where's your ID?" It's fuck off. Show me probable cause. ICE has been given the power by Donald Trump's administration to profile people racially. This is a bad thing. I don't think in any instance we can say racial profiling is good, but ICE is now allowed to do it per a Supreme Court order. They're allowed to racially profile. It's okay. I think ICE is just becoming a Gestapo force.
Do you believe that some cities' sanctuary policies, had anything to do with with ICE going into these places? Like if some places they cooperated with the federal government, that ICE wouldn't be as much of a Gestapo force as it is, or
No, Donald Trump is trying to
there
raise
wouldn't be.
tensions as much as physically possible so that people on the left start fighting back, and then he can use his force to kill people and then claim immunity and be like, "Oh, look, the left, they're dwindling their numbers." I mean, this is a
Do you think
page.
he really wants to kill people? Do you really think he wants to kill people? Why do you? He doesn't want to kill people.
I
What
think
makes you think he wants to kill
Trump
people?
wants to thin the herd of people that can get him out of power. And part of the way to do that is to kill them.
I mean, undocumented immigrants, they are not a part of the voting bloc. So how could they get him out of power?
He's not just killing undocumented
Why would he
immigrants, is
want-
he?
I mean, who is he killing? Who is he killing?
A woman
we-
just
can we
died
really
like 5
say-
days ago.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah. So but can we really say that that was an intentional murder? We
Yes.
can't really say that 100%.
Yes. No, the video proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was an intentional murder.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yes.
No.
ICE has
It-
30 people have died in ICE custody since 2025. I think it's beyond a shadow of a doubt that Renee Nicole Good was murdered. The person stepped in front of the car and then continued to step in front of the car as the car started moving and then fired a shot. I think he was looking for a reason because he was mad at her, and he got his reason and he killed her 100%.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Nobody wants.
You don't
to kill
have
somebody.
you don't that's not true.
Yeah, he wants it. He wants to kill
What?
this lady. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, he probably was aggravated. Yeah, she may have, shouldn't have been in the middle of the road or whatnot.
Did he
But to say
shoot
that,
at her?
he-
Did he shoot at her with what was the goal of shooting at the car?
to stop her from
How do you stop?
continue.
How does shooting at somebody
Well,
in a
you-
car stop the car from moving? There's only one way that shooting at somebody in the car would stop the car. That's by killing them.
No.
So he purposely fired with intent to kill.
Yes. So he had a split second to make a choice.
No.
That split second.
No. His choice could have been not to walk to the front of the car while the car was in motion, which he did, which violates. No. He violated federal policy.
Detained.
No. He violated federal policy. It doesn't matter. Federal policy dictates you do not step in front of a car that has an operator sitting inside of it with the car on. He did that. Federal policy dictates that the thing that you do when someone is in a car is you get out of the way. You do not fire. It specifically prohibits firing at a car if you have the ability to get out of the way, which he did. This was an intentional killing that violates federal policy. He's a murderer.
I don't think it was intentional. No.
Did he shoot at her in order to kill her? Yes or no?
I mean, that is not. We got to separate that because law enforcement, they shoot to kill. You know, they only pull out their gun.
Then the murder was intentional.
They don't aim for the leg.
If you shoot to kill, it's intentional. If you shoot to kill, it's intentional.
Well, we have to. Well, his intent wasn't.
His intent was for her to die.
Mad at her.
His intent. Well,
yeah,
no.
Yeah, but it wasn't because he.
Then
why did he
step? Why did he step in front of the car?
Are we sure that he was already in front of the car?
Yes, we are 100% sure.
I don't know.
We have the video from his point of view.
I still would argue that it wasn't like, you know.
Yes, because you support Donald Trump, you support him using ICE in this way. You're okay with innocent people dying as long as it gets those damn dirty immigrants you don't like out of the country. Can we just be for real? Like, at least just admit it.
No. What makes you think I don't like immigrants?
Well, you didn't seem to give a shit that they were being sent to concentration camps. You don't seem to give a shit that ICE is ramping up violence against people. You don't seem to give a shit about any of that. So why would I think you like immigrants to be like based on what you've told me so far? I would have no reason to believe you like immigrants.
I love immigrants.
I'm not with my YouTube right now. Like, hello? Okay, it's been kind of loading weirdly. I don't like I'm so sick of fucking little baby fascists holding water for big baby fascists. Yeah, I saw the little freeze. Let me reset my computer. I'll be back when me and Jimmy are getting on. Let me just give my computer a little break. Maybe that's what's going on. YouTube crashed like twice on me, which was weird. There's also no callers in the queue, so that's fine. You guys will see me back when with me and Jimmy. It's 9:30. We'll be on if you want to debate 9:30 Eastern. So that's 2 hours from now. We'll be taking on more MAGA callers. Fighting the good fight. Sorry to Andrew Wilson who called in. We didn't have time to get to you today. Sucks to suck. Sucks to be you. Call in maybe next time. But yeah, we'll keep going. 9:30, I'll be on with Jimmy, and we'll do more debating. Okay. There was a fucking Christian caller, but they ended up not fucking hanging on the line, which is annoying. I want to debate Christians. All right. See y'all later.